I mean, at the end of this episode, right, is him doing the cat thing. It did lead them to a route to potentially get their rank higher, right? Mm-hmm. And that could be Man God's, like, translation of how this could benefit you. But what also potentially happened is a massive step towards potentially the Superds, like the idea of the Superds changing, because his conversation with Ruijerd might have been a step in the right direction of not killing and spreading that word, and therefore the Superds' reputation growing. You know, like it is also, like a moral good.
It also does a lot of good in terms of Rudy actually having more awareness or understanding of the situation he's in and how hard this task might actually be.
Yeah.
Because he's dealing with someone who's lived for like 400 years a certain way, and who has feelings and thought that and beliefs they have kept for all of those years, and that they've built this person that they're into. And, you know, you're just a kid that's coming in 400 years later that's trying to tell them to think and live a different way.
Yeah.
And I think that he is getting more of an understanding now of the psyche that he's actually dealing with, and that he's not going to have to just fix the reputation of the Superds among other people. He's going to have to also help Ruijerd, like, mentally and emotionally at the same time. It's not just, oh, let's make everyone spread Dead End's name and, like, make the Superds' reputation better. He also has to think about the person.
Yeah. I think, and he's realizing he has to. I think this episode showed Rudy, showed Eris, and most importantly, showed Ruijerd himself that his idea and perception of good and bad is very black and white, and there's more complexity to that way of thinking. And Eris,
and he's the one that needs to enact justice for his sense of right and wrong.
Well, like, the sense of redemption, right? And if that is even possible, because I don't think Ruijerd has ever thought of that. I think that when Eris was, like, trying to, you know, argue with him, and they were like, oh yeah, Ruijerd was like, he kicked a kid. He kicked Rudy. And then Eris kicked him. And he's like, I kicked you too. Didn't you do bad things a long time ago?
Like...
yeah, but, like, didn't you do bad things a long time ago? And that kind of stops Ruijerd in his place. Like, is there different degrees of evil? Like I don't know if he's thought about this.
Who are you to decide what type of punishment is, like, worth the crime that has been done? Eris is like, they kidnapped animals. You know?
Yeah.
Murder, kidnapped animals. Like,
yeah.
And she's showing him that there's a spectrum there.
Yeah, and exactly. And I don't think that he's thought about that before. So it's interesting. So I don't know. I'm blown away, because it's like they're delving right into the complexities of how it's not that simple. It's like people aren't just made up of one or two colors, you know? Yeah. And they've showed us that from the beginning with Rudy, but if I'm honest, I didn't expect them to show that with other characters in this, like, magical world, you know? And it's really cool. I'm really happy with the show.
I think the only, like, question mark I have at the moment is the introduction of Man God and the time that we're now getting. This is the second episode that we're getting time with Man God, and Man God is somewhat influencing the story, possibly. And I think it's more just, like, that's not a question mark in my head, but it's just something that's kind of floating in there of, like, why introduce an element, a device like Man God into the story? What is the purpose?
Yeah.
Is there longevity to this device? Is that a good thing that there is this device that is possibly giving Rudy advice?
I think it's a really interesting
Why is it there?
question. I think that there has to be reason, right? We got the idea of a dragon god who could potentially be better at reincarnation. So maybe it goes down that route. Maybe Man God, like, maybe each of these gods have people that they can communicate with in this world that have lived previous lives, and they're trying to enact their will through these people in the real world. I don't know.
And it complicates the viewer's idea of whatever growth Rudy might be having. I think that's maybe what it's necessary for, is that we left this kind of Rudy back at home with his parents that was purposefully saying things in a fight with his father in order to get a one-up on his father in multiple situations after that. he acted the same way. And then we kind of got to a point where we're like, oh, we're seeing like this growth of like not necessarily like realizing that he didn't get any bonus points for what he did, or maybe he didn't choose the right thing, things like that. And so possible growth there. And then now we're getting introduced to this device that is now putting us back into this question mark of, okay, when is Rudy using his experience in order to have a little bit more of a hands-on control over the world around him?
Yeah.
And when is he just living as Rudius Grey Rat?
I'm conflicted because like what we have heard about a demon god and what their role is like. What intentions, based off of the actions so far, what intent does the man god have? What's his goal? Like not saying that he needs one, but if he has a goal, what is he why talk now? Mm-hmm. What is he leading Rudy towards?
So if Man God possibly is above a timeline and can see past or future, if that is a capability of Man God, then I would think that maybe Man God told us that he liked watching Rudy. He was enjoying the entertainment value of watching Rudy.
Yeah.
So maybe he thinks that sending Rudy down a certain path will be the most entertaining of paths.
Yeah.
For this character. So maybe that's why he's getting involved.
So do you think that Man God decided to communicate now because he saw a potential route that would be more entertaining or more like or a route that would not leave Rudy dead, but like a route to get back to, like, I don't know.
We could see maybe it was to send him down a route that was more entertaining, or maybe a route that was more fulfilling.
Maybe, but why? Like, so the facts of the matter is that we've never heard of Man God before Rudy woke up or Rudy was in the demon world, right? Is that what it's called? Why? Could he not contact Rudy or converse with him until then?
I don't know. I think you said something about consciousness before.
Yeah.
Like, we could also go down the route that Rudy, his 44-year-old self that appears in front of Man God, it's 40-something-year-old self.
Yeah.
Maybe, I feel like that's how he envisions himself. His true self is how he appears there. And it could be possible that he created this other self to help him do things that are right, where he feels like he's being told to do it instead of him growing and being better. So that he still, because he's keeping himself and viewing himself still. That's the possible route, is that he is keeping himself and still viewing himself a certain way.
Yeah.
And so he has to create some other entity in order to convince himself to do something good.
Yeah.
Or selfless.
My experience in fiction is like, oh, Man God's gonna guide them to somehow release him, and he's evil.
He's the
or
true
something. I don't know.
villain.
You know, I have no idea what they're gonna do. Did you see how Eris is holding her sword, like where she's storing it when they're like walking or whatever?
Oh no, I didn't notice.
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. It's like behind her back, and it goes that way, like sitting across her back.
Oh.
It's really cool. I don't know. I thought that was neat. It's usually, you know how it's usually like over the shoulder and stuff, but when they were actually out in action, that's how it was. And then when they were in the city, they had to like tie up the blade portions of them. That was really cool.
Do you think that Ruijerd will ever meet Sylphie?
Maybe. That'd be interesting. Especially
because when we first met Sylphie, we were like, oh, what? Green hair!
Yeah. Do you think that Ruijerd is protective of these specific children, and he doesn't realize that emotion is different than his protectiveness of just children in general? Like, do you think that if any kid was kicked by this one dude, that Ruijerd would answer it with immediate death? Because I do on that hand.
I think at the moment I would say yes.
But I also feel like there's little like inklings of his protectiveness of Rudy and, you know, Eris and wanting the best for them.
I feel like it's possible that since we're getting comparison that Rudy is drawing between himself and Ruijerd from last episode, that I could see a route where he is not letting himself actually get connected to them, and that he sees himself more as a object to get them home safely and not as someone to have personal relationship with them. And we know from being in the village before in Roxy's hometown that this isn't the first time he has focused his efforts on saving and protecting children.
Yeah.
So maybe not yet. Maybe this is the start of something new. Is that conversation? Maybe that's what it is. It's a moment for Rudy to realize that this is not just helping the Super's reputation, but you can't just fix the reputation and then let Ruijerd run wild, because he might ruin the reputation again, Mm-hmm. So you need to work on him and the reputation. But so it's for him to realize that, but it's also maybe for Ruijerd to start thinking as well, maybe start forging more of an actual connection and bond and care for them, and not just the fact that they're children, but they are Rudy and Eris. Yeah. They are people, and they're not just kids that you will kill for no matter what.
I don't know if this is like a normal thing with isekais, as we've talked about, don't know a lot, but this world, I don't need the whole like reborn again plot to be interested in this world. You know what I mean? Like that, like they've done such a great job in their art. Oh my God, it's amazing. I love the character designs of everybody, but like the infrastructure and like the architecture and like how the difference in different cities, and like it's so immersive, and I love it so much. And I would like watch I would love to watch like a series in the same world with other characters at the same time. Like, it's so interesting. I want to learn everything about it. It's so deep,
I completely agree with you. Do you think that beast people stemmed from demons?
Perhaps. I don't know.
Because we obviously get the animal demons, and then we have beast people.
It's a good question.
I don't know. But anyway, I think my favorite design for one of the demons this episode, I really liked the bumblebee girl. Yeah. I loved that.
Do you think Nokapara is going to be an issue going forward?
Yes, I don't like him.
Yeah. I like his like the art though, and what like his like the horse lips while he's talking. It's really cool. I love this show, dude.
Me too.
All right. You good?
Yes.
Do you think we're going to be seeing the Tokurabu Tufts again?
Yes.
I hope so.
Possibly saving them.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. But I also feel like there's little like inklings of his protectiveness of Rudy and, Eris, and wanting the best for them. But I also feel like there's little like inklings of his protectiveness of Rudy and, Eris, and wanting the best for them. But I also feel like there's little like inklings of his protectiveness.
But I also feel like there's little like inklings of his protectiveness.